So this is Serpent
My lord,
in the
Erline,
Staglands, which by all
I
account
pray that a strong
is a
wind
very
might hasten
difficult
the ship
game,
bearing
at
this
least
letter,
at the beginning.
for it carries dire news. My host has warned me of a curse that will befall our Moon Lord on the longest night. Be on your guard for spies and false friends. Distrust the servants of lesser gods. Cloak the Moon Lord as you can. But I fear he will find no sanctuary in the Staglands. I will follow this letter west when I am released. I hesitate to reveal more until I arrive in Corum, but take heed. The Carrion God welcomes mortals and gods alike.
So, as I said, this is Serpent in the Staglands. I'm Shane of Shane Plays. Thanks for watching this. I'm going to do a new Let's Play series, and I'm committed to seeing it all the way through to the end. This game is getting famous or even infamous for two things. One, its visual style and its play style, which harkens back to the 90s. And two, evidently it's quite difficult, especially at the beginning. So, many of the reviews I'm reading are like, hey, it's really hard, but if you stick with it, it's good. Some reviews are saying it's just broken um, because of the difficulty at the beginning. So let's see. This is developed by Well Not Studios, which is it's a husband and wife team. Um, I think Joe and Hannah Williams, and I think it's amazing that basically those two, with I think just a few extra hands helping out here and there, have put this game together. So let's try it out. Serpent in the Staglands. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and a comment in the YouTube comments. That helps me out a lot. Let's go. Let's start a new game. We're going in blind. So follow with me into the Staglands. All right, so I've hit start new game. It's thinking. Now this has an Ultima 4 style. Uh, I guess you answer some questions at the beginning. I don't know how much effect on gameplay it has. But it says when the gods were formed and you claimed the moon as your dominion, which god did you ally with? Now in this game you play a moon god who becomes trapped on the mortal realm or the mortal plane. The carrion god who hungers for flesh. The god of spring who nurtures and heals. The trickster god, a shapeshifter. Or the god of forging who is wrapped in flames. I'm kind of intrigued by either the trickster god or the god of forging who is wrapped in flames. I'm going to go with the trickster god. I like this style they did here with the lady writing down your answers. They did. Very atmospheric, very stylistic game. And when you peered through the clouds one night and saw a small fleet of boats tossing in the rocky waters near the coast of the Staglands, lost and despairing, why did you reach down and part the clouds so your moonlight could guide their way to safety? So I admired their ambition and hunger for knowledge of new lands and do not wish to see such spirit quenched. I would not have wished for so many to die when I had the power to change their fate. I knew such an act would inflame gratitude and love in the hearts of several generations of the adventurers, and sheer coincidence, I'm afraid, if the mortals of the Staglands wish to think me their savior, so be it. I would say I would not have wished for so many to die when I had the power to change their fate. This is also set in the world of Vol, VOL, which is sort of Transylvanian inspired, I believe. When you first set foot in the Staglands and showed yourself to the new settlers, what animal shape did you take on? See a black-furred wolf followed by my pack, a slinking red-eyed lynx, a great white-tailed fox, or a magical four-horned antelope. I came as a black-furred wolf followed by my pack. She's writing it all down. Really nicely done. Looks very nice. And the Zana that you seduced. After a winter solstice festival, what gift did you leave behind as you slipped away from her as the moon disappeared into the dawn? I left her a singing... I could either be a white... or I could leave a white rose, a singing wisp, a sparkling citrine, which I'm not quite sure I know what that is, or good memories. I left her a singing wisp. The book is closed. That was me unplugging my phone from the computer. I apologize for that noise. I've heard that this game has long load times, so... My lord Necholai, what's happening? Why are you still here? Have you laid here all night in such a state? And we are Necholai, evidently. And I say, Arlene, finally. Arlene, I'm glad to see you can stand. Are you continuing your celebrations? I'd invite you to assume a mortal form and share a cup of kefira, but I believe you drank all of mine last night as you masqueraded amongst my villagers. Were you turned down by all of the pretty maidens? Have done, Arlene. My visit is of most serious nature. Something has happened. Forgive me, my lord. Pray, tell me your tell. As I was casting spells to open my portal return to the moon, I found myself blocked, as if my portal was unlinked. I laid here most of the night, ethereal, trying every spell I knew. That is grave indeed. Do you have any suspicions regarding who might have closed your portal? In my stupor, I dreamt of a dame in a cloak with green eyes. She was reading my past from a tome, as if she was reading a eulogy. Could this be a prank in bad taste, yes, but mayhap done at the hands of another god? This cannot be the work of a mortal. Possible, but I know of no one who would do such a thing. My portal was an ancient gift and not easily tampered with. Even more serious then, my brother's a scribe to the counselors, being skilled with letters, and has told me some things, small things that seem odd. A missing counselor, spirits pouring from their chasms, insults traded between races and places of power. And when is the mortal power struggle not filled with bad tidings? Nay, you are right. This must be matter of gods. Ay, and mayhap I am jumping in my own shadow. But how can I aid you, my lord? I cannot open your portal to get home, and without a better guard than my scroll-bound acolytes, I cannot create a real sanctuary here, as dangerous as it may be for you to travel in mortal form, for you can be slain as such. I fear it is your only way of finding any answers. So my possible answers are, you know more of this land than I, as my visits have been more pleasure-bent than observant. I'll trust to your wisdom. If that's the best you can do, I'll take it. I'll say, you know more of this land than I, as my visits have been more pleasure-bent, etc. What form would my lord take while traveling the Staglands as a mortal? Let me consider the choices. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so I've read the manual a little bit, but I really don't know what I'm doing. So, the mark of a Viking. I don't know it. The shields of the Verachov did not just showcase the herald or their noble lineage, but are often used as a second weapon in battle. Bashing and piercing an enemy gain an advantage. When you equip a shield, your physical damage roll is increased by 2d1. Okay, what other races can I choose? A Pasaran. Pasarans hail from the lush, forested northeast mainland, an area under the control of Pasaran matriarchs and their expansive families. Some of the greatest hunters on the mainland that can be found in their ranks, and hunting monsters is a common entry to higher ranking society in their culture. Matriarchal law exacts dual justice, intention and crime, divined with clerical spells. Their harsh justice often leads to exile, and Prasaran outcasts often find shelter west or in southern islands. Let's see. The Prasaran exiles that have settled into the Staglands the past 100 years have done well for themselves, prized for their strength and hunting prowess, and are marked by the black feathers growing from their heads and their ever-judging opaque pupils. So I'm not sure what... so if I want to be a Kwijev, ever in pursuit of the demigods known as the Bloodless, a special sect of Prasaran hunters have become adept at attacking with whips, specially designed for the purpose of torturing what they consider the essence of all that is evil before a final strangling snap. So receive 2d1 to physical damage when attacking with a whip. Huh. Maka. Believing themselves to be harbingers of good against the evils of Vol, Prasaran fighters focus their combat training to killing blows against monsters, spirits, and above all, the bloodless demigods. Add 5d1 to spell and physical dodge chance when rolls when battling any of these foes. Monsters, spirits, and bloodless demigods. Okay, and a Vestine. More in touch with the gods than any other race of the Staglands, the Prasarans exercise a mystical control rarely seen outside their protected forest. Start your journey with 1 point in occult. Okay, let me go back to, where was this other? Verichov, the Weepers. Okay, so a few decades after the settling of the Staglands Peninsula by the Emethivians, the Verichov surfaced the mountainous region known as Emerald Metalis, after having thrived underground for hundreds of years. Their present state has left them without any homeland to call their own. On the surface, but their kingdom continues to flourish below ground. Though their minds are open for trading in Emerald Metalis, the political decisions of their houses do not allow open entrance to their underground kingdom. What stories they give are beautiful crystallized domes where the king lavishly sits in a seat of power, and an expansion of great shimmering tunnels that lead to great proud houses that defend their cities against underground invaders. The new generations of Verikovs still maintain the gray-toned skin and white eyes of their ancestry and continue the culture of being proud, practical, and methodical thinkers. They kind of remind me of Drow, Dark Elves, just a little bit, with the houses and the underground and all that. So a Weeper that's the one that gets 2d1 increased with the shield. If they have the shield, their physical damage roll is increased. Horned ladies. For many years, the Varkovs existed solely under the Emerald Metalis, driven there by forces unknown outside their records. Over time, the fighters of one scouting battalion, the Horned Ladies, became extremely adept at fighting the dark and rocky grounds of the Cavernous Retreat. Gain a hit chance buff when you're underground of 5d1. Okay. Frost Jackal. A society with rigid aristocracy and obsession with courtly graces, Verikovs never fail to use their heraldry to open doors. Start your journey with a house crest in your inventory to smooth your passage to the Staglands. Okay. Now, and you can kind of change the appearance here. I'm kind of just messing around. All right, so let's see how many there are. There's the Verikov, there's the Prasaran, there's the Emethivian, the Lakovinian, the Territorith. Okay, so there's 5 races, and then under each race there's classes, categories. I don't know. The Emethivian. Okay, Emethivia, original home of the Emethivians that now have settled the Staglands, is surrounded by geothermal vapors, creating a purple fog that has kept any invaders out, if any ever attempted the voyage that far south or unknowingly dwell in the region. They primarily fish their plentiful waters and are expert boatwrights, chemists, and engineers. With long peace times, they are one of the most advanced races, and their achievements include longboats and the materials for the most corrosive elixirs and healing cures on Vol. What militarized effort they have had has been to suppress groups of Emethivians that have succeeded to take land as their own and the monstrosities that came from the waters. Characteristics. Amethyvians are characterized by their purple-tinted skin and web-like ears, which is the result of their watery, purple-fogged homeland. They tend to be an easygoing and open people and welcome new experiences. Okay, so Celestials. Devoted to the Moon Lord, Necholai. That's me, or that's us. Who saved the lives of several Amethyvians, the purple-skinned shorelings tend to focus their mystic arts into the Illumination School. Start your journey with 1 point in Fearful Light, an illumination spell in Grade 1 that forces enemies to flee for an extended duration. I must have 1 point in Occult or Intelligence to use that skill. Alright, the Unshaken. Amethyvians promote peace and prosperity above conflict and war, instilling civic duties and the benefits of benevolence to neighbors and their children. Start your journey with 1 skill point in Rally, a combat skill buffing the armor class of your entire party at the start of combat. And I must have 1 point in Dexterity or Strength to use that skill. Fire Weavers. In the golden age of Amethyvia, engineers tinkered with small, portable explosive liquids, and many have become masters of throwing them with speed and accuracy in defense. Start your journey with a 0.2 permanent increase in attack speed when attacking with an elixir. Okay? I don't know what this is. Oh, I'm saying I'm not ready yet. I guess I was saying I'm done. Lacovinian. The Lacovinians inhabit an archipelago, which is a collection of islands, right? South of the mainland. Their islands range from exotic lush forests and marshes to rocky mountains teeming with iron and minerals. Their islands support wheat production, farming, and livestock, but it's cramped, making their expanse of the mainland and cause of their war efforts for additional land inevitable. So they're going to fight for more land eventually. They are a lawless people without a centralized government, but share a common culture comprising of houses, separating island ownership and doing trade with one another. Characteristics. While they are fearless sailors and wage massive sprawling wars, Lacovinians are known to have some of the most fearsome sorcerers. This may be due to the cultural worship of the carrion god, who was said to have aided them during the evacuation of the mainland. Their rune-splattered skin is surrounded in superstition and mystery, and they're the only known race to boast this beautiful and haunting trait. Their runes aren't a topic discussed with outsiders. Okay, so let's look at the blood omens. Followers of the carrion god, the deity that delights in the corruption of flesh and carnage, Lacovinians are not afraid to delve into necromancy and decay in the arts of the flesh school. Start with 1 skill point in Feverish Haze, a spell that corrupts the flesh and inhibits an enemy ability to move and think. An enemy's ability to move and think must have 1 point in Occult or Intelligence use skill. Alright, Faithful. For the seafaring race, fighting is a sport, not a necessity. And from being raised in a society of excessive warfare, they are especially adept at fighting their own kind. 5d1 physical DC and spell DC skill mod, difficulty check I'm assuming, when fighting humans. Okay, disciples. A race honed by constant war and an eat or be eaten philosophy, Lacovinians are more difficult to strike down than other races of Vole. Start your journey with 5 extra hit points. That could probably be something. And finally, the Territorith. Look kind of elvish here. The Terrashian Desert lies north of the Spirelands and ends. So there's Staglands and Spirelands. So lands full of spires and lands full of stags. Which I guess a stag is a beer, or not a beer, a deer. I guess I was thinking of a beer because stag parties. But anyway, I digress. Lies north of the Spirelands and ends at the base of the Sky Peaks, the northern tip of the mainland, marked by the tallest mountainous peaks known on Vole. They enjoy their baked delicacies, teas, ale, and are able to lavishly and profitably use their abundant spices to make their cuisine very unique from other mainland regions, which make their spice trade routes a point of interest for those looking for exotic goods. The northern kingdoms lack lumber, so they have land routes west across the northern reach of the mainland and recently south to the Staglands, where they have established a trade outpost in Rumen. Organization. Due to long dry seasons, their divided kingdoms have led to expansion to southern traders at the expense of their distinct clan's pride. Though without a centralized government to rule over them, the dominion of clans in a naturally fortified territory have led to a time of general peace and capitalistic economy for the past 1,000 years. Characteristic Territorists are known to be taciturn and unyielding to outsiders, with burnt orange hair and triangular ears. They are fierce fighters and notoriously loyal to their company. All right, so let's check out the sapphires. Savvy traders who learn the art of negotiation as they learn their first runes. Territorists drive a tough bargain with merchants in the Staglands. Earn 10% extra gold per item when selling items to merchants. Oh, that's nice. Citrines. Isolated and completely reliant on trade for survival, the study of languages is more than an idle scholastic venture for territorists as their caravans make inroads throughout the lands of old. Start your journey with 1 skill point in linguistics, an aptitude that values the conversation of monsters and ancients alike. Onyx. As a society that values sharp mind and calculated decisions, Territorists train their soldiers to mark enemies with uncanny precision. Start your journey with 1 point permanent increase to perception. Alright. So what do I want to be here? Weepers get physical damage when they have a hit shield is increased. Hit chance buff when underground. Frost jackals. A house crushing inventory to smooth your passage to the Staglands. Right. Pisarans. The Quijev. 2d1 physical damage when attacking with a whip. Maka. 5d1 to spell and physical dodge chance when battling foes of any of these foes of monster spirits and bloodless demigods. The Vestine. Start your journey with 1 point in occult. Okay. Race. Amethyvian. I kind of liked the Amethyvians. Let's check out Celestials again. An illumination spell in grade 1 that forces enemies to flee for an extended duration. Unshaken. They get a skill point in rally. Fire Weavers. They get a chance to increase an increase in attack speed when attacking with an elixir. Yeah, I definitely don't want to be one of these guys, despite whatever stat buffs they get. I don't like the feeling of this carrion god stuff. So I will be, although that would be nice. Start your journey with 5 extra hit points. Territorith. Sapphires. What do you do again? Earn 10% extra gold. 1 skill point in linguistics. And permanent increase to perception. I don't know what to do. I'm gonna be one of these guys. The Amethyvian Celestial. I like that illumination spell. Alright. I guess the only thing I can change is his head. Not really a lot I can do. Alright. Available stat points remain after character creation, and you may distribute any time after. Skills and spells can be found within your character sheet. Okay, I'm still kind of male. Gender has little bearing on the abilities and characteristics of individuals, although different races in the Staglands carry their own views on the role of men and women. While Pisarans have a matriarchal society dominated by strong-willed women, the Verikovs trace their lineage through the male line, and other cultures have an equal power dynamic. So I guess it can be male or female. So he needs at least 1 point in occult or intelligence. So I'm going to give him a point in intelligence. What you've got? Yeah, reset the stats. Okay, so occult. Cult blocks magical attacks and increases potency of spells pertaining to buffing yourself or your party, shields, or spell resistances. Increasing your occult or intelligence will unlock new grades of spells. Occult. Okay, so I guess it says I need at least 1 point, but I've already got a point. I mean, I've got, it looks like 10 points and everything by default. Intelligence, dexterity, strength. It says that I can, available stat points remain after character creation. You may distribute it any time after. Okay, so I'm going to hold on to it right now just because I don't really know what I'm doing. And what name do I want? How about Trowlin? Sure, why not? Saving. After character creation, use your character sheet to allocate your skill points. Okay, I will do that. Arlene says you'll want companions to protect you and give you a consequence. You can certainly hire mercenaries to join you once you depart the temple, but you can also create additional avatars now to accompany you for the time being. I'll create another avatar now. Okay, I'll create another one. Why not? So how many do I get? I don't know. Yeah, I gotta take one of these guys just for the hit points. The disciples. She looks pretty cool. I'm definitely gonna make her like a fighter. Point. I have no idea what to call her. I can't think of a good Transylvanian name. Let's call her Ren. I don't know how many I should make of these. I guess I'll create. I'm hearing combat's really tough, so I don't quite know what to do. I'm guessing I can let people go as I. This little journey with a house crest in your inventory to smooth your passage through the Staglands might be nice. I'm looking at what the skills do. I want to give. I don't really know what to do. Cult, what is it? Blocks magical attacks and increases potency of spells to... Okay, I'm going to make her occult and intelligence. Or him. I want sort of a regal sounding name. Because he's got the seal, he's got the crest. I'm going to give him long hair. Kind of looks like Elric. with Mel in the Bones, so I'll call him Elric. Okay. And I guess that'll be enough. I don't know if I should. Okay, I'll seek out other companions of me. So that starts me out with 3. I have no idea if that's good or not. As you like, my lord. I can offer the services of my nephew, Wilhelm, and our strongest acolyte, Catalina. If you wish to engage Wilhelm, you'll find him wandering about this floor. Catalina is out in the courtyard working in the gardens. Pray send them back to the temple when you can, as they are both important to the temple, and I'm rather fond of Wilhelm especially. I will say I will do what I can, or mayhap they will prefer my company. I will do as I will, Erlene, and I'm going to go with that because he is this guy's god. As you wish, my lord. What's ours is yours. And I say, indeed. There's a store master in the western wing. He can sell you some supplies to start your journey. I'll give you some emeralds. But I can't take too many from the temple purse without arousing suspicion. I wish I could vouch for every member of this temple, but I think it's safer to trust no one, which means I must live with the knowledge that I'm sending you out in the world with little besides your wits and a few gems. And I could say that seems just, or don't berate yourself, Arlene, your aid has been invaluable. I'll say don't berate yourself, Arlene, you've been a big help. What I can do for you is gather a disguise. If anyone asks, for now say you are a merchant, and then when you're ready to leave, meet me outside the doors in the courtyard. We shouldn't risk being seen together now that you're in mortal form. Anyone with enough knowledge to know of your portal must know that you'd come here first, and spies may be lurking in the shape of temple visitors. Say, very well, we'll meet then. So it wants me to meet outside the doors in the courtyard. Okay, so I'm going to stop there because that's already been 30 minutes just on kind of getting into the game and doing character creation. So I'm going to stop there and we'll take it up with a second video soon.